Brothers, brothers and sisters, this is War Smith with the Black News Network. I want to welcome you to the real voice of Military City, broadcasting the news from a black perspective. I do not own the rights to any music you may have listened to, but I do own the rights to what I have to say today. We have missed out on the American dream. The American dream has been out there for our people for months on end, and we have not been the recipients of it. I mean, our brothers and sisters fought in World War I, World War II, and they came back from overseas and ended up with home loans, education grants, all this property that the government gave them for pennies on a dollar. And as far as black people, we received not a damn thing. And now you hear all this shit about the queen and passed away. And the first question pops in my mind, what did the queen say to all the shit that they did to black people in America? So if I see somebody black standing out there, I'm saying that person has lost their damn mind and they have went too far with that bullshit code switching. Code switching, changing from a black person into a white person by voice and by actions and by placing a towel on your lap or the napkin on your lap when you think that's what you need to do to sit down and eat a damn dinner. Some of this bullshit that they got you black people doing out here in America is bullshit, and you're doing it because you want to assimilate even more with what the British and the American white people want you to do. That's your damn problem right there. You're too far gone away from what you need to be representing here in America. You need to be representing your heritage, your culture. Even though they have neglected to give us anything when it came to what America did to bring society up on a particular level, you still kissing their ass and you still love what they do for you. The little shit that they give you, you love it. The freaking welfare, you love it. The Section 8, you love it. But in reality, you're not the one benefiting from all of this shit that they do for our communities. They put it on you as if you're the one that's taking advantage of the system, using up all the damn supplies and everything else, but you are not the one doing it. It's not you. Statistics show that white people use Section 8 and all this other stuff that the federal government issues at a hell of a lot more rate than black people. So don't think that you're guilty or that you need to assimilate or code switch because you don't want nobody blaming you for using the same system that they abuse. Now, if you think I'm lying, go to the state of Mississippi and look at how Phil Bryant gave Brett Favre over $70 million of money that belonged to the welfare system in Mississippi. Now, in Mississippi, the welfare system, as many people apply for the welfare system in Mississippi, over 90% of the black people that apply for welfare have been rejected. They have not been able to receive welfare when they really need it because you know and I know that Mississippi is allegedly the poorest state in the country. Mississippi allegedly is the most racist state in the country. And they do a lot of shit to black people in Mississippi. Black people are mostly afraid to fight with the white folks because they will pile up on your ass and black people will scatter like roaches. They will scatter. They will not pull together and work together against the common cause because that is what they expect us to do. That is what they want us to do. And anytime we pull together, we give their asses a run for their money. You don't believe that? Look at what the Black Panthers did. Look at what the Deacons of Defense did. Look at what the Martin Luther King people did. Look at what Malcolm X did. Look at what Medgar Evers did. Look at what Rosa Parks did. So we can go down the line and name all these damn people that made a significant difference in Black America's lives here in America, and we did not get behind them. We can't even get the Edmund Pettus Bridge changed to John Lewis. We can't even get the George Floyd Act passed, but yet we can get a Chinese Act passed in less than a week or less than 10 days. We can do that kind of shit because it ain't got shit to do with black people. We can redline black people and make sure that they don't get houses in this neighborhood over here, to make sure that they don't get loans from the bank. But yet, where do we keep our money? We put our money in these white dog banks that don't give us shit in return. We put our money in there. They go and give loans. They approve loans at a 10 times higher rate than they approve loans for black people. And of course, our credit and our historical financing lifestyle has not been as lucrative as most of the white people because the government made them that damn way. So when we go to the bank, oh, you can't just look at my credit score because you've already neglected to support me in the shit that I needed you to support me in, but you've supported these damn killers that killed black people and got off, and you gave them big loans of my money that I keep in your damn bank. And you know, I'm guilty too. I keep my money in a credit union, but it just pisses me off that I got no other way other than to keep that money at home with me or put it in a damn credit union or bank. And the same goes for you too. You have to put your money somewhere. And that's what you have to do to survive in this country. But you need to go on record making sure your bank know that they need to support you just like they support every damn body else. And if you paying to bank at one of these white folk banks, you a damn fool. You need to make sure that they know that you are not going to pay them money for them to keep your money. Ain't that some stupid shit? Now, Frost Bank got a bad habit of trying to charge you for keeping your money. So you should go to them and let them know that, hey, you should not be charging me that for me keeping my money in your bank because you using my money to fund what these white folks are doing any damn way. So why the hell are you charging me twice? And you won't even let me get the damn money. You're giving it to them. So we are not in line to get the American dream. That is my problem today. We are not in line to get the American dream or to experience the American dream here in America. Many hundreds and thousands of people have decided to leave this country because they got so tired and so fed up with fighting against the system and seeing the roadblocks and the glass ceilings and the neglect and the disrespect and the racism all geared towards keeping black people in a particular zone in life. And they have been wholeheartedly successful. You know, of course, one black person out of 1,000 gonna sneak up through there and they're gonna snake their way to the top. But there are 999 other ones that ain't gonna get no damn where. For every 1,000 black people, one may make it to a real comfortable lifestyle. But you're not going to have a whole community of successful black people. Even those ones that are going into the NBA, going into the NFL, going into the Major League Baseball. They are going to play these sports, but they are not allowing our people to get as successful as, look at the Brett Favres, who took that $70 million from their welfare system in the state of Mississippi. Brett Favre already $100 million man, and then he gonna take $70 million from the damn welfare system because Phil Bryant, the governor at the time, decided to give it to him. That's the kind of bullshit we have to deal with here in America. People are getting away with murder. Now, David Kaepernick took a knee in the NFL when he was playing the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, and he immediately got blackballed for taking a freaking knee. He got blackballed for kneeling on his knee during the national anthem. Now, the national anthem is a bunch of bullshit too, because if you don't know it, the second verse of the national anthem is the verse that tells you about slavery. I can't leave it up long, but I'll just show you a glimpse of it. You should look it up because it tells you about slaves and how that no matter how much you try, you are not going to get out of that damn slavery. And that's the sad part about what this country stands for. Everybody knows that the second verse of the national anthem reflects a continuation of slavery, and that we're going to do everything in our power as a United States to keep your ass in slavery as a black person. And if you kind of take a look at what's happening here, the entire country has been anti-black all the time this country has been here from day one. From day one, it has been anti-black. That's not my fault. That's not your fault. That's not black people's fault. That's the American Constitution fault. The foundation of America's fault. We're the only people in this country that have been refused the American dream. Even Chinese coming over here 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, received grants to get by stores. And if you go to any small town in the United States of America, you can find a Chinese store owned and operated by Chinese individuals that were given these things by the American government. Now, they were giving Chinese shit when they wouldn't give us a damn thing but another hoe or a shovel or a pickaxe to get out there in that damn field, or a croaker sack bag to pick cotton. They wouldn't give us shit. We worked our ass off to build this freaking country, and we have suffered the most. And then I see on KLRN they fixing to do a damn show on the shit that happened at the Holocaust. You know, of course it was bad, but look at what happened here in this country. The Holocaust was in another country. Look at what the United States government did here in support of slavery. Look at the beneficiaries of the support of slavery. Why would they change a system that made them so filthy rich, even at the expense of dogging out an entire species of people who made them extremely wealthy? That's what they've done. They have dogged out an entire species that made them extremely wealthy. In America today, black people still have to watch their backs. You have to be on edge when you get pulled over by the police, because it seems as though there is no reason for them not to shoot you when they pull you over. All you got to do is challenge their dumbasses, and then you get shot. or killed, or you get arrested for no damn reason. They have been arresting cops all over the country now for all of the atrocities they have done with black people over the years. Now, in San Antonio, I was charged with 8 freaking citations in one damn night. And when I ran a bar here in San Antonio, I got 8 citations. 8 citations. This was 3 years ago. So this week, well, last week, I got a motion to dismiss all 8 charges because the officer had no evidence. And he also had a history of being suspended from the San Antonio police force for racial activity. So him dealing with me wasn't the first time. And he had the audacity to go into court and call me an asshole. He told my lawyer that I was an asshole. That's why he gave me the tickets. That's why he put the handcuffs on me and damaged my shoulders and put me in the back of the police car. But the city got to pay. That's how it rolls. So now that's the kind of stuff that we have to do. And no matter how hard it is for you as a person that's been discriminated against, you need to pursue whatever avenue you can afford to get even or to get them to stop doing the bullshit that they do. Because if you get racial profiled or disrespected or abused or some victim of racism and you don't do anything about it, the only thing you have done is open up the channels for that individual to be racist towards somebody else. So now you've basically perpetuated the American dream away from us. Black people don't get to experience the American dream better than Chinese. They get it. Japanese, they get it. The Russians, they get it. The Ukrainians, they get it. They all experience the American dream in America. And I can just go on and on and on down the list and come up with thousands of different people that experienced the American dream at our expense. Whenever America decides to come correct and make us whole, then we can really move forward as a country. But this country will always have the type of troubles and trials and tribulations that it has only because it has not been fair towards Black people. You know, Black people are the ones who really did a lot of the work here, and they have not benefited from anything. How can you build a damn country and not get anything from it? Can you think of one thing that the American government has done for Black people and Black people alone? No. The Civil Rights Act of 1964? No, no, no. That was not a benefit. That Civil Rights Act of 1964 benefited minorities. And guess who were included in the minorities? White women. They were included in the minorities. And when that movement started, the Black people started it because they were being discriminated against. But then the white women took it over because they wanted voting rights. And they ended up getting voting rights along with us as Black people getting voting rights. And when we received our voting rights, it still got shut down by the Jim Crow laws and the creation of the Ku Klux Klan. They went out of their way to scare tactic Black people. And when they could not scare us anymore, They started to kill and torture and burn and maim. And even they went so far as to take the skin of black people and make books, binders out of it. They took the genitals of black men and gave them to white women. And I say this again today that I will bet my life on what's happening here in America today, that there is over 1,000 households right here in America with body parts of slaves that have been passed down from generation to generation to generation. How do you think these things like a book covered in black man's skin end up in a museum? How do you think they find shoes made out of a black person's skin in a museum? These things make it to the museum because they've been sitting in somebody's basement until somebody with a conscience comes along and say, we don't need to keep this in our household no more. But they take it out of their household and then they give it to a museum, and then they don't want nobody to know where it came from because their ancestors are the ones who kill the black people to get the skin. That is so sad. I'm sure most of you or most black people have seen the movie Mandingo. Now, you notice what happened in that movie? The master, so to speak, the person that owned the plantation, was having his way with all the black women on the plantation. His white wife didn't like that. So what does she do? She go finds the biggest, baddest buck out there on his plantations, and she makes that buck have sex with her consistently. You know, he knew what was his fate was going to be. And if he didn't do what she told him to do, she could tell her husband he did it anyway. And what was going to happen? He was going to be killed, which he was. At the end of the movie, you see where the white master took a pitchfork and poked it into Jim Brown and pushed him into a tub of boiling water and held him down in there till he died. And they cooked him in there. They cooked him in there. That's the kind of shit that ended up happening to black people who dated white women. And nowadays you got black men as well as black women deciding that they don't want to be married within their culture. So they step outside of their culture and they marry a person of their different race. Now, let's look at what's happening here, really. Really, now. And America is making it a okay thing. That's what America is doing. And I'm not saying it's not okay. I'm saying they are perpetuating the ones who cross the line more than the ones who stay the course. The ones who cross the line, look at Kamala Harris. She has a white husband. Where is she right now? She's the vice president. Look at Jackson, who's now on the Supreme Court, the latest nominee for the Supreme Court. She has a white husband. The black man, Clarence Thomas, he's on the Supreme Court. He has a white wife. Now, those are the three top people right now. And they all different. They all are married to white people. Two women and one man married to white people. And the problem is Kamala Harris and Clarence Thomas are in the same category, low down and dirty. But the other lady, I don't have any negative reports of anything about her, so her marriage is legit. But when it comes to Clarence Thomas, his wife supports Donald Trump wholeheartedly. And that tells me that he supports Donald Trump too, because he puts up with that bullshit that she does. That's the kind of stuff we have to do. Mar-a-Lago had over 1,000 documents, and now they appointed this special master, so to speak, to oversee what the Justice Department is doing. Now we start to see what money can do in America. When we see somebody as a judge appointed by Donald Trump becomes a judge that can oversee our entire Department of Justice, who dictates what the judges can and cannot do, now you can see the power of money in America. I would not even say money. I would say the power of influence. And that's where Donald Trump is. He's got the power of influence in this country. And he has many people under his belt that he used to take out different systems in America. If you or I had taken all these documents home, we would never see the light of day again. Never. But he's still out talking shit on the campaign trail because America is stupid right now. What do you think other countries are looking at and saying about this country? They're not saying it out loud, but they see what's happening here. They see what they're doing to black people. They see what's happening with our politicians and how they are aligning themselves with low down criminals in our country. They see this kind of stuff, and there's nothing we can do about it. Privileged white people are the key thing that people want to see in America. They don't want to see you as a black person. They want to see the key people in America, which are white people. Now, the lines are so blurred when it comes to white people because you got white people, you got Scottish people, you got Irish people, you got German people, you got Ukrainian people, all white people. All white people. And they all experience the same benefits as white people here in America. They all benefit the same as white people here in America. That is something that we have to contend with. And my thing is, I look at a white person as a white person, and there's nothing different. I don't give a damn what country you're from. If you're white, and that's the way it is. But as you know, they are all against black people. Now you have a few abolitionists in the white groups, but you got one out of a million here and there, but you don't have enough to make a difference. You do not have enough to make a difference because they are not going to put themselves in harm's way for a black person. Right now, there's a bus driver shortage too. And a teacher shortage, there's a food shortage, there's a cotton shortage, there's a fuel shortage. There is a shortage of every single thing that America needs to survive. And many of us want to go out and purchase a Tesla. And then they think that's you made it once you can go get one of them fully battery powered cars. And then you pull up one of these charging stations and you put your credit card in there and charge up your car. But what you're not realizing is, why did they not put a self-generating generator on that car? Just like a regular automobile, it's been around forever. Your battery is charged by the functionality of that engine. Your battery recharges based on the running of that engine. Why can't a Tesla have solar power? Or why can't a Tesla have a recharging generator on it? that keeps this car charged up where it can run perpetually forever without having to worry about the battery going dead and having a charging station somewhere on the freeway. Now, I saw a Mexican, he did something really smart. He took a Honda generator and put it in the trunk of his Tesla. And he stopped to buy gas in a gas tank. And people were asking, well, why are you buying gas in a gas tank for your Tesla? And he said, to put it in my generator to run my Tesla. So he could go cross country with a tank of gas in that generator. That only thing the generator was there for was to charge his Tesla. And he put one tank of gas in there and he could go from coast to coast. And we're using the generator to recharge his car. But then I see somebody else had a Tesla, and with that other Tesla, the battery, it was a 2022 Tesla, and the battery died for some reason, and he couldn't charge it. He couldn't get it replaced because the battery was over $22,000. That's a third of what the car costs. Who's going to pay $65,000, $75,000 for a car, then come back a year later or 6 months later and put another 25,000 in it to have that battery replaced? That don't make sense. Why would the battery go out that damn quick in a car? That's not right, but that's what they doing. In California, they have a pre-K system, right? And the pre-K system is a LBGQT called the Rainbow Club, and it's being formed in pre-K. And the city is authorizing, or the state is authorizing and sanctioning these clubs in kindergarten. That's what's happening at a very, very beginning age in our school system. In Uvalde, Texas, they sent 33 officers there to monitor the school system since school just started back. And they did close down Robb Elementary School, so that school will not be open, and they're going to tear that down. So 33 officers in Uvalde at different schools ain't going to do no more than they had going on before the shooting in Uvalde. It's not going to change a thing, because soon as everybody get comfortable, those DPS officers going to disappear, and they're going to go somewhere else. So our children now are still going to school, and they are still at risk because our United States government is sitting back waiting on the states to decide what they should do to correct these problems in the schools. Well, when Crazy Joe was the principal of a school and he chained all the damn doors down, they wanted to take him to jail. But now you see why he was doing that, because he kept all the drug dealers out of school, and he kept all the kids in school that needed to be there, that was dropped off there. So out of those 376 officers that were in Uvalde on the day of that massacre, only one has been fired. One, and that was the chief of the Uvalde Police Department. And then they hesitated on doing that because why wouldn't he sue? Because America's justice system is so screwed. He gonna sue, and he might win, and he might get his old job back. But I think he'd be stupid to want it. But he might win, and he might get his old job back. 10 DPS officers were under investigation, with 5 of those officers being suspended with pay, because these are the 5 that were allegedly inside the school at Robb Elementary. You know, how can Donald Trump keep all these records in his house and nobody really thinks it's a big deal? And then they allow the special masters to come in and dictate what the Department of Justice has to do. So that it almost tells you that the American structure, the way of government is crumbling. From the voting systems to the different departments that are corrupt to the embassies that are overseas, all of our systematic government situations are going down. They all are falling apart at every level. But yet, you come out with all these charges against well to do white people, and you really don't get anywhere with it. You put a couple in jail because they wanted to go, they were willing to go to jail to save somebody else. But it really don't solve the problem that you're having here in America with the government. The belief in the Supreme Court right now is at an all-time low because they really screwed up when they went against Roe versus Wade. When they decided to turn that against the people, and now they got Lindsey Graham up there talking about a federal law to make abortions illegal at 15 weeks. Why is it that all these men are so interested in controlling what women do with their bodies? You know, the big thing is they're trying to ensure that they have a race in the next 50 years because white people are being erased from race. And that's what needs to happen because they are not the majority right now. And they are starting to realize they're not the majority, and they're starting to do things to change that they're not the majority. And the way they do it, first of all, they want to kill as many black people as they can without prosecuting these officers. You know, they put 5 officers, maybe 6 officers in jail, but you got another 100 officers out there that they killed a black person and they ain't got no damn charges on them. That's what we have to deal with. There's a new disease out there, and it's not affecting everybody. It's affecting the young babies, toddlers, and it's called acute Thalassian mellitus or something like that. And it affects the toddlers, and it affects their respiratory system. And they have like a nasal congestion. They get weak and they start to become numb and they die. That's what's happening right now with our children. There's so many new diseases out there, and the new diseases may, in fact, be created by the pharmaceutical companies. We don't really know what the hell they are putting in these damn vaccines. And a vaccine in Black's dictionary right here tells you that it's for animals. It's used by veterinarians to stabilize animals or to cure animals of something. So why are humans getting a vaccination? We're getting a flu vaccination. We're getting a COVID vaccination. We're getting all these other different booster shots and vaccinations. We don't know which ones we're getting for what because we got COVID, we got Delta variant, and we got the Omni variant. We got all these different variations of viruses that we're fighting, and we got a vaccine for each one. So right now we don't know what the hell we're getting, which vaccine we're getting, and what it's supposed to prevent. We only know that the flu vaccine is the flu vaccine. We go in for an Omicron vaccine and we'll probably get a COVID vaccine. We go in for a COVID vaccine, we'll probably get a Delta variant vaccine. So the vaccine system right now is questionable, and it should be something that you think about before you go in there and get one, because you don't want to put yourself in that position when you don't know what they're giving you. Back to the Queen of England who died. There are all these different countries that fall under the Queen. And all that means is all the wealth resources that these countries that fall under the Queen, all the wealth goes to England, goes to the crown. She owns every damn thing. So Jamaica has decided to split. Belize has decided to split from under the Queen's authority. Antigua is quitting. Barbados quitting. And all of these are different countries that are under the Queen of England's empire, and they don't want to be under it anymore. And I kind of see why, because everything that they do and everything that they own belongs to the Queen. That's the problem. America and the American dream for Black people has experienced a systematic failure on every level. Let's look at the gas prices. Gas prices have systematically failed the American people for the last 3, 4, maybe even 5 years. We have had problems with gas, and we don't know whether it's going up or whether it's going down. And the more the gas go up, you would think the less people you'll see out on the damn road. But that's not the case. Even though gas prices are going up, traffic is getting worse in every single damn community. It's getting worse. And that's the sad part. Food. We no longer know what we are getting in these stores. We might be getting animal feces and animal parts and shit ground up into our ground beef, and we don't know what the hell we get. You ever notice how when you go to a grocery store and you buy a family pack of meat, right? And on the top, that meat look good like a mofo. But then when you take it home and start to peel them top pieces off of the meat, and you start to see that underneath those top pretty pieces is a bunch of crappy ass meat, then you're saying, how the hell they keep doing this to us? You don't know what you're getting. You don't know what's underneath that top layer of meat. So be careful when you buy meat from the grocery store, because they are jipping us and jiving us and getting every damn penny they can get out of us. Don't think just because HEB make billions of dollars a year that they're going to give you a deal. They're going to make a profit on every single thing they sell. Every single thing they sell, they're making a profit on it, but yet they try to make it look like you're the one who saves. How the hell you save when you're spending? It's an oxymoron. You cannot save if you're spending. So don't believe the bullshit you see in these grocery stores where they're telling you save a lot, like a store named Save a Lot, and all this bullshit marketing tools that they use to make you think you're getting a deal, but in actuality, you're paying more than you should be paying any damn way. In Mississippi, there's a brand new airport. It ain't really brand new, but it's new. It's the Medgar Evers Airport in Jackson. And it's ran 98% by Black people. Black people in the tower, Black people running the security, black people moving the planes around, loading the planes, running the restaurants. Black people are running that damn airport. Even the rental car section, the black people are running that too. So why do you think the state of Mississippi wants to take over that international airport? And it's an international airport with Medgar Evers' name on it. Now, if you don't know Medgar Evers, he's buried in Arlington Cemetery in Washington, D.C., and he has one of those white tombstones like the soldiers. And they buried him there because he was an avid civil rights leader in the state of Mississippi, signing up thousands of people to vote, registering thousands of people to vote in the state of Mississippi. And that's why they shot him dead in his driveway while he was coming home off work. Is it Beckwith? That's who they think shot him. In Minnesota, the nurses are going on strike. So can you imagine the hospital being at capacity when it comes to their beds, and then all the nurses go on strike? So you got all these damn patients in there and no damn nurses to maintain the patients. People gonna start dying, and who you gonna blame? The nurses on strike? You gonna take them to court because they didn't go to work that day? It's a damn bad situation on both ends. Everybody loses. Everybody loses when you don't do right by the people that you want to work for you, and the people that work for you don't do right by the people they serve. Like the governor of Mississippi who gave Brett Favre all that damn money. Mississippi has been mismanaged for the last 20 years. And it's all been under Republican leadership. I don't know if Mississippi's ever had a Democrat governor. I don't know. Systematic failures in the school systems. Our children are dying all the time. Our children are not being educated properly. They're coming up with the critical race theory bullshit that really screws children out of knowing their history. And I say again, parents of black children, you are responsible for educating your children on black history, not the school system. Don't expect them to educate your child on any damn thing. It's your responsibility to teach them math, English, history, science, biology. All those topics are your responsibility as a parent. Systematic failure in the health system, systematic failure in the employment system, systematic failure in the education system, systematic failure in the transportation system. America is failing across the board. And the only reason America is failing is because of what they have done with the people who built this country, the black people. Until America does right by black people, America will suffer. White people will suffer. Just because they got all this damn money don't mean a damn thing. Look at Donald Trump. He's just a miserable ass white man with a lot of damn money and a lot of clout. And he don't know what to do with it. He effed it up. And his daddy would be so disappointed in what he has done. He'd be really mad at what he has done. How in the hell in 2022 a state and a city goes through a water shortage? You would never think that something like that would happen in this country. But it happened in Flint, Michigan several years ago. It's still not corrected in Flint, Michigan. It's happening in Jackson, Mississippi right now. Don't believe the hype when they tell you that the boil water ban is off, because that's some bullshit. That boil water ban should never go off until they replace them damn pipes. You can't hook a temporary generator up to the water system to pump water to the Mississippians in Jackson, 150,000 people, and then expect the water to be clear or the water to be clean. People don't be bamboozled with that bullshit. You know, it's politics. So they're saying the water is clear, but I guarantee you it's not. Invest in your own testing equipment that you can get from Amazon, and you decide if your water is safe to drink, because you're going to give that water to your children and they're going to end up with parasites and intestinal digest issues and all kind of other issues, because you were drinking contaminated water, untreated water. Don't allow yourself to be caught doing that. You know, cancer is been something going on for 70, 80 years. They've been trying to cure cancer and talking about curing cancer. But cancer, I don't know if they really want to cure cancer, because cancer makes the pharmaceutical companies trillionaires. It makes the billionaires trillionaires. They make a lot more money because they're searching for the cure. And the federal government just gives them a whole damn leg of money. It's almost like they give you their right leg of money that belongs to the government. They're giving billions and trillions of dollars to the pharmaceutical companies, who claim that they came out with a vaccine for COVID 19. COVID 19! And I don't believe they did. They came out with a damn placebo, and people just psyched themselves into believing they were getting well. Because I caught COVID right the month February, the month right before it went mainstream, and I got cured on my own. I didn't go get a vaccine to get cured. So, and a lot of other people I know caught COVID the month, it was 6 weeks before they announced it on March 14th that it was out. But they cured it themselves. So, what did the vaccine do? They force you to take vaccines. They would not let you get on an airplane without having a vaccine. They put peer pressure on you to take a vaccine. They try and pressure you from every avenue of their life that you can be pressured from to take the vaccine. You couldn't send your kids to school. You couldn't do a whole lot of shit just because you would not take the vaccine. In Chicago, a mother killed 3 of her children. She killed them. She went crazy. So these drugs out there now, there's this little pill that everybody's taking. Um, it's starting to kill people with one pill. I really suggest you do not take these damn pills. I can't think of the name of it now, but I'm telling you, they are little blue pills, and people are taking them like 40 going east. Don't take this pill, because you're gonna die. Many people are going to die from those pills. So be very careful with what you do. We got a shortage in the busing system. It's at catastrophic failure. You see buses going through neighborhoods now with 5 kids on a big ass bus, a super big ass bus going through the neighborhood, dropping off 5 or 6 kids. Now, that's a serious mismanagement of resources when it comes to the San Antonio school systems. All these school systems got their own bus fleet of buses, and you telling me that you got to dispatch a 45 passenger bus to take 5 students to their home? That's kind of overkill, don't you think? You're burning all this gas, putting all that wear on that damn big ass bus, taking up space on the highway, putting wear and tear on the roads with a big ass bus when all you need is a panel van to move these 5 or 6 kids. But yet, because you ain't doing good management of your resources, you send that big ass bus on that route with 5 kids on it. That's the kind of stuff Americans are doing. And they're doing it because they continually employ dumbasses as managers in many of these fields. Now, there's no reason for people to put these idiots in charge of shit when you and I know that they are not the best pick for the job. But they put these people in these positions because they don't want to put the black person in that position, knowing that the black person will do a better job. But they still won't put you in that position because they do not want you to receive what the white folks supposed to receive. That's right. They will not put you in there because of that. Privileged white people, they're all over the place. You see these Karens all over the place. Now, I don't wish that on nobody where a Karen walks up to your house and want to know if you live there. Even the police walking up to your house and want to know if you live there. You know, what do? Do you fight the police because he's asking you that, or you tell him to get the hell out of your driveway? You have a choice, but don't succumb to them beating your ass and taking you to jail because you stand for this moral. Don't succumb to that. Stand your ground to a certain point, but if they want to abuse their powers and use you, allow them to do it to save your life. But in the long run, you gotta press charges too, just like they're doing. Press the charges. And recap of some of the things that we talked about today. The American dream is not available to black people. The American dream has never been available to black people. The American dream will never be available to black people. Because if there was an inkling of thought that could give us that idea that we can experience the American dream, then we would be doing it over and over and over again rather than 1 out of every 10,000 black people experiencing the American dream. The American dream. We are not going to be recipients of it, so we have to create our own dream, and we can only do that by uniting front as a people, having a united front as a people. And if we don't ever have that united front as a people, we are not going to get where we need to get as a people. There's no way an entire city like Flint, Michigan, and Jackson, Mississippi should have gotten to the point they are in right now. Now, what I don't understand is how you don't incorporate the nicest cities into this strategy. How they are not suffering from water damaged pipes, corrosion in the sewage system. Why are these cities like Clint, let's say Clint, Mississippi, Yazoo City, Biloxi, all these cities are not having the water problems that Jackson, Mississippi is having. Now, Jackson, Mississippi got 150,000 people affected, and at least 100,000 of those affected people are black, maybe more. So, how can they decide that they're going to allow this geographical zone to suffer more than this geographical zone. Like what happened down in New Orleans when Katrina hit in the 9th Ward. They just took all that property. The government took it. They took it and did not allow people to move back in there because they claimed it was a flood hazard. But then they allow big companies come in there to build these high-rise towers in the 9th Ward over money. And they got that land for pennies on the dollar. That is the kind of stuff we deal with in America. We will continue to deal with this in America until the Black people decide to work together and to unite and to say to hell with the Democratic Party and to hell with the Republican Party. We are forming our own party of voting. And that is where we need to be. And the only way we're going to get there is we pull together. Something's been on my mind and a friend of mine's mind lately. What happened to Pee Wee baseball in the Black community? What happened to Little League baseball in the Black community? It was there when I was a child, and it helped structure me growing up. I loved playing baseball and softball and t-ball. And even to this day, I still remember players off of my baseball team. I still remember the coach. This is something you don't forget when it forms or affects you to a certain level. So why don't we have certain baseball leagues here in the city of San Antonio? So that's something, well, they are here, but they are not in the Black area, and the Black people has nothing to do with them. That's the sad part. We are not the ones involved in the collegiate sports like that. You know, we don't want to be involved in everything. All we got is sandlot football, or what do they call it, Pop Warner football here. So with that, I want to say thank you all for coming to the listening to the Black News Network. The real voice of Military City, USA, broadcasting the news from a Black perspective. I say again, I do not own the rights to the music, but I do own the rights to what I say. So thank you so much for coming in and listening and tuning in to the Black News Network. With that, I'm going to play a little music on our way out, and I hope you enjoy.
You ain't gonna believe what happened to me, man. I just had to whoop this nigga, man. Yeah, man. What's up, nigga? What's up with you, nigga? Shit in the club, nigga. Nigga, it's whatever. What you wanna do now, nigga? The same thing, nigga. It's whatever, nigga. All you gotta do is do what you gotta do, nigga. Do what you gotta do, nigga. Nigga, I been fucked, nigga. Nigga, talking you a couple being had your gun. You a weak ass nigga. I think your ass will run, cause you a pistol player. Pistol player. Fuck ass sucker nigga talking, you a talking being had your gun. You a weak ass nigga, I think your ass will run, cause you a pistol player. Fuck ass sucker. I hate when niggas talk shit when they know they some hoes, they nuts fuck, cause they got a tone under their clothes, but you can see it in their eyes. When niggas bitch made, but my guns a little bigger, like you got a switchblade. If you point it, better use it or be dead, young nigga. Pull a gun for fun, that sound a little dumb, nigga. It can get a little tragic. It don't my daily cost. You'll make a nigga circle back and